So we'll be using a 2.5mm hook, stitch markers, and I'll be using this type of yarn. It's a lightweight yarn and I won't be doubling my strand. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a slip knot, and this is how I make mine. And you're going to grab your hook and you're going to make a chain that runs from one part of your shoulder to the other side of your shoulders. You're going to make a long chain that will go from one side of your shoulder, like the end part, to the other end. You can measure it, or you can just make the chain and just place it. You can keep placing it on the back, so one shoulder end to the other shoulder end, because we are going to work it in different parts. So this is the back part, and this is how we start it. So when you're done, you're just going to grab the last chain and you're going to chain 4, and you're going to go into that 4th stitch from the hook with a double crochet where we were holding. So you're just going to yarn over, you have 2 on the hook, and then you're going to go into that 4th stitch from the hook and you're going to pull through. You have 3 left on the hook and you're going to pull through 2, then pull through 2 again, and you're going to chain 1. Then you're going to yarn over, you're going to skip 1 chain and go into the next with a double crochet, just like that. So you're going to chain 1 again and you're going to skip 1 and you're going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet, and you're going to do this until you get to the very end of our chain, of this long chain that we have made. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll meet you when you're at the end and I'll show you what to do next. So here we're almost at the very end of our long chain, and in case you have, like, let's say 1 more stitch left, you can just chain 1 and then you go into that stitch, or you can remove it. I'm sorry I wasn't focusing on that piece, but I was trying to open it so that I can just have just no stitch left. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 4, and you're going to turn your work around and go into where we had put our double crochet. You're going to go into that with a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, go into where we're putting the double crochet, where we have the double crochet. You add another double crochet on top of it. So you're just going to do chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 chain, and then double crochet. And you're going to have these spaces that you can see. So that's going to be our pattern for this tutorial, which is just chain 1, skip 1 chain, and then go into the next chain with a double crochet. And then you're going to do this, as you can see, where we had the double crochets, where we attached our double crochet. So you're going to do this until you get to the very end, and once you reach the end, as you can see, I added a double crochet on the very top. I skipped 1 chain and then went into the very next stitch, because we made chain 4. So I went into the 3rd chain, and then I chained 4 again, then turned my work around and then went and did double crochets, chain 1, up to when I reached the very end. And so this is what I have so far, and as you can see, what I'm trying to make is I'm making what's enough, that the length at which I want, because some people prefer short top, others prefer something longer. So you will just make the length, because this is the back part, you just make a length that covers what? That covers one side of the shoulder to the other side, and then you calculate what you're going to, how short you want it or how long you want it. This is how I wanted mine. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to count all the stitches, because I'm going to divide and make the neck part, like where my head is going to go through, and this is what I was doing. So I counted I think I counted, sorry, but I counted 10 from one side, and then another, no, I counted, I think it was around 12, but you can just measure what you want for the neck part, as long as you make sure the head can go through it. So I counted that, and then I counted every single stitch, and I multiplied it by 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue with the same pattern, which is chain 4 and double crochet into where we had like chain 4, skip 1, and then add a double crochet until we get where I attached my stitch markers. I think I counted 13, so you're going to do the same. You're going to chain 4, turn your work around, and then go into every stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, go into the next with a double crochet until you get to where the stitch marker is. And when you get there, I'm going to show you what I did next, because this is a crochet part, because it's what we're going to do. This is our neck area, because I'm not doing like separate like the back view and then the front view and then I attach it together. That is not what I was trying to do. I was just making one long top, and then I was just going to attach the arms, like I was doing the front and back panel like the same, and then the arms I made them separately. So this is what I did for the, should I call it the body of the top, of this mesh top. So when you get to the stitch marker, what I did was, since I counted, like I divided the work into, so since I divided the work, what I'm going to do is I counted every single, where we had the double crochet, I counted all of them and I multiplied it by 2. And what we're going to do is you're just going to make a chain that is going to run from where we have, where this stitch marker was. You're going to make a chain that is going to go from this to the other what? To the other stitch marker. So basically you're going to make a chain where we counted, like, because I think mine was around, let's assume mine was like 23, and sorry I forgot to keep count, but I think it was actually 32. Yes, mine was 32, so I get 32, I multiply it by 2, and that gives me 64. So I'm going to make a chain of 64, which is going to move from this point up to where the stitch marker is, and where I have the stitch marker I'm just going to attach it with a double crochet, and I'm going to continue with the same pattern, which is chain 1, double crochet, skip 1, chain 1, up to where I get to the very end. So this is going to be like my neck area. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach where I had the stitch marker with my double crochet. I'm sorry I wasn't focusing on the camera, but I removed the stitch marker, and what I did was I just grabbed my yarn over, and then go into where we had the stitch marker with a double crochet, and that's what I was doing here. So you're going to chain one and then just continue in every single stitch with a double crochet, chain one, double crochet as you're skipping that. Chain one, skip one, double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet, and you're going to do this until you get to the very end, and then I'm going to show you what we did here on this neck area, because that's the pattern is the same. What changes is this neck part. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your hook. As you can see, we have two different sides, so you're going to make sure that it's straight. The smooth part is facing you, and it's where we're going to go into. Basically what you're going to do is, I'm sorry I was using black, but you're going to skip one and then go into the next stitch, and this is where we multiplied our work by 2. So you're going to chain one, skip one stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, chain one, skip one, go into the next with a double crochet, and it's just going to be a continuous thing. And please make sure that what the number of chain spaces that we made here, like this pattern where chain one, skip one, what we have on this long chain is the same as what we have on the back panel is the same thing that we have with the front side. So what you're going to do is chain one, skip one, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we are going to work on the arm area, and you're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to make a chain. You see, I wish I had a measuring tape and I would show you, but like you're going to make a chain that runs from the largest part of your arm, the shoulder bit of it, the largest part, like where your shirts connect or something like that. So you're going to make a chain and you're going to run it through your arm from like one shoulder area to the other, or you can measure that shoulder area in inches using a measuring tape. And it's what we are trying to make here. You're going to make a chain that runs from that shoulder area to the other, and you're going to just join them together. So this is our chain. Please make sure that it's straight. You have the smooth part facing you, and you're just going to join it to the end of the stitch with a slip stitch, and you're just going to continue. We're just going to continue with the same pattern, and we're going to make sure that it looks like I'm going to attach a video of what I'm trying to talk about. So you're going to chain 4, and then you're going to skip one stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, go into the next with a double crochet, and you're just going to continue until you reach the end of this chain, and I'm going to show you what to do next. So as you can see here, we are almost at the very end of this chain. So you go into the fourth, sorry, we made a chain 4, so you're going to go into the third stitch on that chain 4 with a slip stitch, and you're going to chain 4 again, and you're just going to continue, skip that one chain and then go into the next. Where we have the double crochet is where you're going to attach the double crochet. So you're going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and double crochet. And this is what we're trying to make. This is the video I was telling you about. And as you can see, that's how the arm is going to look like. You're just making a chain that is going to be long enough to cover your arms, and here we're going to try and attach it. So where we made a chain that runs from like one shoulder to the other, that's going to be where our arms are going to be, and the other end, the where we ended the stitch, is where our shoulder part is going to be. Because the arms are a bit tight, the chain we made is tight, so that's where the arm end is where that stitch is going to be, and the other side is the end where we ended the stitch is where we're going to attach what our shoulders. So you can attach this by maybe using our hook, by just going to every stitch with attaching them with slip stitch, with a slip stitch. Or me, I used a needle because I wanted my work to be clean and smooth. I really didn't want any ridges or anything like that, so I used this needle to attach. And because I used a small hook, so my and a really small piece of thread, sorry, yeah, my yarn was lightweight, so I used this really small hook so that it can be able to go into all those stitches. So I just sewed it all together. I folded my work and then I started working around. As you can see, that long line that I was showing you, that's going to be where it's going to be our midpoint. So we're just going to sew it all together from one side to the other. You can count and see how many we had on the arms and how many we have on our body area. I'm calling the front and back panel together as the whole body of the outfit. So this is me joining them together using this needle. I'm sorry I was using a black piece of yarn, but just where I have like a double crochet, it's just normal how you would sew like clothes or something like that. That's what I did here. So I just went through it with I went through it with a needle, and you're going to do this for both arms, the left and the side ones. You're just going to join them all together, and basically this is our tutorial. Then the very end of our stitch, like where the arms, when we're done with the arms here, so after joining the arms, as you can see, I also joined these two parts together. Our body area, I just had to, because this is the remaining bit, so I just had to join them all together from one side to the other side. And what I had on this side is what I had on the left is what I had on the right, or what I had on the right is the same thing that I had on the left, sorry. So I just joined it all together, and this is basically our tutorial, and that's it. That's literally the end of our tutorial, and this is how I made this mesh. I can call it cover up, crop top, but this is basically it for our tutorial. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. As I'm doing this tutorial, I'm at I think 423 subscribers, so I'm really hoping to get to probably 500 or more. Thank you, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and God bless you.